Namaste, guys. ChristianRLong, Life Enhancement Consulting, giving you a big and beautiful shout out on this phenomenal, amazing, super beautiful. I have somebody sending me a bunch of text messages letting me know that they're blessing me with lots and lots of love. How awesome is that? It is 4:42 p.m. Mountain Time here in Denver, Colorado. Hey, Namaste. And thank you guys very much for the concerns, for the text messages, for the emails, for the phone calls, for the reaching out on social media of like, where have you been, dude? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Where have you been? I have been around. As you can see, I've gone through a little bit of a physical transformation, cut almost all my hair off, and I've been growing it out for about 4 years, little trims here and there. The beard is gone, and I've been having the beard on and off for about 2.5 years, and it's just part of the upgrading process, that's all. And I got to spend about a day in the mountains. Rachel, Namaste. Spent about a day in the mountains a couple of days ago, and it was good to connect with the energy of Keystone, Colorado. It's a place that I went with my son, Gabriel, about 4 years ago, and we had a really good time, but a really cold time because we weren't properly dressed, and then leaving that place caused a lot of misunderstandings and confusion between my son and I. And so that lasted for about 4 years, that misunderstanding. So I always recommend people stay in communication with other people. So for those of you who've been practicing pranic healing or done any of the Twin Hearts meditations before, you realize the format, Kelly, Namaste, you realize the format that we use is the prayer of St. Francis of Assisi, right? Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Wherever there is hatred, let me sow love. Wherever there is injury, pardon. And so part of it is seek to understand. Part of one of the stanzas of the prayer of St. Francis of Assisi is seek to understand, or better to be understood better to understand than be understood, right? Erica, Namaste. So that's what I recommend as not only pranic healers or Hatha yogis, spiritual people, but people in general. Do your best to understand where the other person is coming from. Yes, it's a very new look. Thank you for noticing. There's a beautiful breeze coming in right now. It's been super hot all day in Denver, like 85, 90 degrees in the sun. Now we have clouds, and there's a nice gentle breeze coming in, and it feels amazing. Super, super grateful. There it is again. The more gratitude I have for this beautiful, soothing, cooling breeze, the more of it comes in. So, it's interesting. People are asking about the new look and asking where I've been. And funny enough, I tried to get on yesterday to do a live stream, but on my phone, the icon that says live video was nowhere to be found. I was outside on Wi-Fi, on my network, nothing. I came back into my house, got on the Wi-Fi here, checked again, nothing. So it was like the live stream or live video icon was gone, so I couldn't even have done a stream yesterday, which is what I planned on doing. But not a problem. We jump on, we do the streams, we add value when we can. We talk about energy healing, meditation, and practical spirituality. And it was interesting. The reason I quote-unquote cleaned up my act is because I posted a picture that in 2013, as Facebook tells me, was the most commented, most popular picture of all the pictures I posted for 2013, which I posted a decent amount of pictures. And it was where I had no beard, it's where I had short hair, and I posted it, and one of my teachers in pranic healing, Master Marilyn Mendoza, made a comment. Dean, Namaste, made a comment about it, and she goes, I really like that look for you. And I said, really like that look for me. Now, that was 6 years ago, so when even I had that look, to me, I looked like a little kid, right? I didn't look, it's not that I look clean cut and professional, I looked like a little kid, so I acted like a little kid with that image. And then, so being out in Colorado, what is it very common to have? Colorado is very open to alternative medicine, alternative healing, alternative practices, and part of the alternativeness is growing out your hair and putting it in a man bun and then growing a beard, right? Because it represents like, I'm part of the Colorado culture, I'm rugged, I'm tough, and I even put a part of that comment in that picture, and she says, you don't need to have a beard to be masculine. And I thought about it, I was like, it's a very good point. You don't need to have a beard to be masculine, because I used to work on Wall Street. I used to work in 40 Wall Street in the Trump Tower, not exactly across from the New York Stock Exchange, but like kitty corner to the New York Stock Exchange. And having any kind of facial hair, any kind of beard was pretty much a big no-no, right? So you had to have short hair, you had to have it nice and clean and tight all the time, Monday through Friday, and grow a little scruffle on the weekends. So coming out to Colorado, people much more lax about their appearances. And also, it was kind of like not a rebellious thing of growing my hair long and growing a beard, but it had more to do with like celebration of freedom, celebration of calling the shots, celebration of calling my own schedule and way of living, right? So it's like, if I want to grow my hair long, I'm going to do it because I'm an autonomous human being. If I want to grow facial hair this way, just a mustache, a goatee, I'm an autonomous human being and I can do that. But I remember something I heard many, many years ago in a network marketing company that I was part of. It was Amway, but it was Amway Online. So some of you may be familiar with it. It was called Quickstar. And one of the guys who was giving a presentation, who had one of the largest network marketing organizations in the world, he had, I'm trying to remember, over 1 million people. No, like almost 2 million people or something like that in his downline. He was worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And on one of the one of the audio cassette tapes, right, when they had cassette tapes back in the 80s, is he basically did like a rundown of what your appearance has to be like so people can relate to you. And I thought, okay, I listened to that many, many years ago, and I kept it in the back of my head. And I realized that he says people relate to people who are like them or show up in a certain way. So if you have short hair as a man, more people can relate to you than if you have long hair as a man. If you have no beard as a man, more people relate to you than if you have a beard as a man. Now, in our culture right now, in 2019, more men have beards than they used to. Right? And I think there was a part in this late 70s as well. And I've studied this stuff. This is connected to my area of study when it comes to fashion, right? And I like fashion. I like men's fashion. Not so much into women's fashion, but I've helped a lot of girlfriends in the past up their fashion sense, right? That goes a little bit above and beyond what they would find in the magazines, like Cosmopolitan or what have you. But I'm more interested in men's fashion, and I like men's fashion. And you can spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on men's fashion, from your hairstyles and haircuts to grooming products to custom shirts, custom suits, really high-end shoes, even high-end underwear, right? So you can really go all out. And there's groups and organizations around the world that help men dress better, and they have like yearly conventions. The last one that I know was about a year ago in, I think, Orlando, Florida, where a bunch of men from all over the country getting together to talk about fashion, right? Talk about the best accessories that one can have, from watches to wristbands to rings to pendants, all kinds of stuff. And I think it's fascinating. It is materialistic. It is on the lower level, it's connected to the physical world, but there's something I appreciate that. Kara, I'm going to say there's something I appreciate about that fashion sense with men. Because when a man dresses well and he looks clean and put together, that is a representation of how he shows up in his personal relationships, his professional relationships, and how he perceives the world, right? That was kind of funny. It was like slowly going backwards. Rebecca, namaste. Good to have you on the stream. So I remember when I was living in Fairfield, Iowa, for 2 months, doing a deep self-retreat, if you will. I had ended a relationship in Denver. I flew out to Fairfield, Iowa, where I had gone 15 years earlier for school, and I ended up doing a 2-month intensive retreat where I just rented out an Airbnb, and then I just did self-healing, meditations, reflections, self-healing, meditations, reflections, self-healing, meditations, reflection. In between that, going to the gym. In between that, eating dinner, working with clients. But basically, that's all I did for 2 months, and it was amazing, super, super transformative. But during that time, I was studying fashion. I was studying, what's the right thing to wear during the winter time? What's the right thing to wear during the fall time, the summertime, the springtime? Hat or no hat, watch or no watch, what colors go well with my skin tone, what kind of glasses to have with my face, right? All these little subtle things. And I realized I had a long way to go with my fashion that I hadn't paid attention to up to that point in my life. Even though I worked on Wall Street, it's like, okay, keep my hair short, shave my beard, and wear a dress shirt. But there's much, much more than that to being good in fashion. And I like that because it's thanks, Rebecca. It's a connection of the sex energy, lower creativity, and the throat chakra, higher creativity. So people that are into fashion, people that are into art, people that are into creative things, the sex chakra and the throat chakra are super, super activated in most cases. So, which would make sense because one of my ninja powers in this incarnation is to have a strong sex and a strong throat. That's why I like communicating. That's why I put out so many streams. That's why I write a weekly newsletter. That's why I like to do public talks and presentations, because it's very comfortable for me. It's very enjoyable for me, right? So that's sex and throat. Lower creativity, higher creativity. And studying these guys studying fashion, studying men's fashion, I hit it really hard for about 6 or 7 months, where I was studying all the kinds of hair products that a guy can use. What kind of haircut works for what it is that he does professionally. Glasses, teeth whitening material, different kinds of trimming tools, different kinds of lotions and gels and oils a man can put on his beard, he can put on his face, different kinds of razors, different kinds of not only shirts, but shirt collars, right? Like, what kind of shirt collar is most appropriate for the man's face? Like, all these little details, which goes back to the throat chakra. Because the throat chakra deals with details, right? Concrete thinking. So when someone is very analytical and they look at something and they like zoom in on the details, that's a function of the throat chakra. Now, most men don't look at those kinds of details like women do, right? So, for instance, a man who is not very detail orientated and he's dating somebody, he'll see that she painted her nails, right? She painted her nails, whatever color, let's say blue. So he's like, oh, she has blue nail polish on, right? But a person who pays more attention to detail will notice that one of the nails, half of it's blue and half of it's red, and then they don't match the toenails, right? Something like that. That's more attention to detail. Again, fashion, creativity, expression, art, etc. So paying attention to details. Usually men are functioning from the ajna, the big picture. Women more so throat chakra. Which is actually interesting. I was talking with one of my friends and a mentor for many, many years at the 21-day spiritual vacation, and was saying that women in general are stronger in their throat than men. So women pay attention to those itty-bitty tiny details. So when they look at a man, Tanisha, namaste, when they look at a man who has his act together, that's very attractive for her. She's like, wow. So if he pays attention to those little details, then that must also mean he pays attention to the big picture, right? And then that relates to security, that relates to safety, that relates to comfort, that relates to predictability. We don't want things too predictable, because if things become too predictable in our lives, we become bored. So we always want that level of variety. We always want that level of uncertainty. So what does this connect to? So as I was studying over the past 2 years, men's fashion, men's apparel, men's grooming products, all of the things related to the physical appearance, I realized that I might have been missing something obvious, and the obvious thing was my hair. That was it, my hair. Gee, not been on mistake, my hair. Because I have curly hair. When I was growing my hair out, it was that in-between weird phase that it was like fluffy and curly and frizzy and all over the place. And finding hair care products for my kind of hair is actually extremely difficult. I've tried so many products, like probably 8 or 9 different hair care products for wet hair, for dry hair, for semi-wet hair. And it's very challenging to find something for my kind of hair. But I was growing my hair out longer, and I was getting interesting feedback, because here's something that's very interesting. When you think of a spiritual teacher, when you think of a guru, when you think of a yogi, when you think of a healer, what do you typically think of? You think of long hair, yes? You think of maybe even a beard that's a long beard. You think of, what's the word I'm looking for? You think of shawls. You think of long flowing robes, right? Typically, whether it's a Hindu guru or non-Hindu guru, we have the thinking that that's what a spiritual teacher looks like. So I know a very advanced healer, Brittany, I'm a namaste. I know a very advanced healer and a very advanced pranic healer, Arhatic yogi, who thought to himself one day, I could dress like an ordinary person, but if I want people to buy into what it is that I'm offering them, which is healing, which is spirituality, then I'm going to fit the part, and I'm going to grow the long hair, have the man bun, grow the long beard, and dress appropriately so people buy into that image. So part of me was thinking the exact same thing. Well, I'm a professional healer. I've been a meditation teacher for many, many years. Well, what am I going to start doing? Growing my hair out, growing my beard, wearing certain spiritual clothes, because people will be able to relate to that easier. But then I realized, you know what? Who are my clients? Who are the people that I typically work with? Entrepreneurs and business owners and professionals. Entrepreneurs and business owners, that could be flipped around, but entrepreneurs and professionals. Why is that important? Well, do people work with others that they know, like, and trust who are like them? Yes. Well, if most business owners and professionals have short hair for men and no beard for men, they can relate to me better. They can relate to me easier. It's not such a jump to go from long hair, beard, spiritual clothes, and having that conversation, right? Because the goal is to bring somebody from where they are to ultimately where they want to be. And if they see me as an avenue for that, then so be it. So again, I relate to business people very easily because I am one, and I relate to professional people very easily because I'm clear, I'm articulate, I don't use airy-fairy, I'm not all over the place when I give explanations as to why we do what we do with meditations, healing work, etc. Hold on, you guys got some comments, I don't want to miss any of them. So Steven says, I could use some major emergency prayers related to completing my move, financial move, the legal, medical. I'm up against some emergencies, thanks. We will do energy, we'll send energies later. Thank you, Steven. You look cool with the changeover. Thank you, Tanisha, I appreciate that. Dean says, the new look is perfect for the Australian Arhatic Yoga Retreat in Melbourne in October this year. What are you saying, Dean? Are you planting the seed? It's all over the place here, guys. Sorry. My old tripod that would hold my phone during talks, I brought to New York for the 21-day spiritual vacation. I used it twice, and then I have no idea where it went. Literally disappeared. I thought it was in somebody's car. She checked, wasn't there. I looked around the ashram, looked around all the different parts of the ashram, nowhere to be found. And I lost a nice pullover, athletic pullover, and I lost that too. And I was like, is somebody going in my bag and taking my stuff? Don't they know the virtue of non-stealing and generosity? Dean says, hey, what have you just said about relating to business people is so true. I can relate better to you already. There you go. So Dean, if you look at Dean's picture on his LinkedIn, did you get that post, by the way? I sent you on LinkedIn. If you look at Dean on LinkedIn, clean cut. Short hair, no beard, rocking it out. So I am simply doing this to be more relatable to the people that I'm already working with. Professionals and business owners, and entrepreneurs. So, Ujwala, namaste. So that's kind of where I've been at. Ron, namaste. I haven't seen Ron's name in a hot minute. I think you were on streams like 3.5 or 4 years ago. But it was super heartwarming to me that my spiritual teacher, Master Marilyn Mendoza, who planted the seed in my consciousness of shortening my hair and getting rid of my beard about a week and a half ago. I was doing a live stream with her yesterday, and I was just like so grateful because she's like, now you're ready for the big stages, the big audiences, to make it happen, and give those professional talks that you've been wanting to do at the next level. So it's good to have that confirmation and support and encouragement from her. It's priceless. I pretty much have figured out anything and everything she's recommended to me over the past 15 years that I've moved forward in, that I've taken advantage of, has propelled my life forward in many, many, many ways. The things that I have not listened to her or dropped the ball on or procrastinated and delayed have cost me time, money, and energy. So I think the solution is to listen to her as intently as I can and implement as quickly as I can. So that being said, do you guys have any other questions, comments, concerns, clarifications about today's live stream? I'm glad that we're back on. I haven't been on since Wednesday, right? It's now Saturday. I haven't been on since Wednesday, and we do the streams every single day. But I was in the mountains. Reception wasn't so good. I was doing healings. I was doing inner work. I was enjoying my surroundings. So here we are. And I was helping a friend out with a transportation issue. That got resolved and taken care of. So I was just basking in different energies. Not that I wasn't thinking of you guys. Not that I wasn't sending love, because you guys are the reasons why I do the streams. If you're not on the streams, there's no reason for me to do them, right? So that being said, if you are in need of healing, which we all are in some way, shape, or form, feel free to go to ChristianRLong.com. It's my name. It's my website, ChristianRLong.com. Sign up for a distant pranic healing session and coaching session, and we can definitely transform you from where you are to where you want to be. Here's a funny little nugget. So I reached out to somebody on LinkedIn who is part of my network. We only met each other once, about 5 years ago. I don't remember it. That's not my ninja power. If we don't have a deep connection with each other, or we haven't shared an intense moment with one another, the likelihood of me remembering you is very unlikely. I'm getting better at that. I can remember names, but faces, still working on it. So I reached out to him to see if he wanted coaching and healing. He set up a consultation. We had the consultation 35, 40 minutes. We ran over a little bit because he had some questions. And he hired me right on the spot. We're doing a package of healing sessions. And he said something interesting to me. He goes, I knew about you 5 years ago when I met you on the networking event. And I wanted to hire you then, but didn't. Right? Because he wasn't ready. Our karma wasn't there with one another. You know, many, many different factors on many different levels. But luckily, Becca, namaste, but luckily we are now going to start working with each other starting this coming week, which is amazing, right? Because he is now ready to deeply and profoundly transform his life. And I'm super excited that I get to share in a small part of that with the coaching and healing that we're going to be doing, over the next several weeks with each other. So if you are looking to transform your life, if you are inspired to transform your life, reach out to me. Schedule a consultation with me. By the way, the old saying in the infomercials, what is it? No obligation. You know how they say that? No obligation. So when you do a consultation with me, there's no obligation. My goal is to find out where you are, find out where you're stuck, and then give you an opportunity to hire me to help you become unstuck. But if you're not ready, willing, and able to move your life forward and it doesn't work out for you, I don't push it. I never push healing on people. I learned this many, many years ago with one of the masters in pranic healing and then two of my mentors, that healing is about love, it's about attraction, it's about soft healing energy, right? It's the person has to be conductive and receptive to being healed, right? So to trick somebody or to force somebody or to aggressively persuade somebody to get healing does not work. Does not work, because in the healing session, do you want to be open or closed? You want to be open, right? Because that means the healing is going to be much more effective. But if you're closed, physically closed, emotionally closed, mentally closed, this is never going to work. It's not going to be a very effective healing session for the individual. So that's why all I do is constantly plant seeds through messages, through emails, the newsletter, live streams, healing people through getting referrals, renewal of packages, etc. That's what keeps people coming back, is that they feel good, they feel heard, they feel acknowledged, they feel validated, and their lives are moving forward. But if you force somebody to buy, like a car, it doesn't work. It doesn't work to force people into the service industries or service professions. If you have a product, you can push a product. You can be a little aggressive with a product, right? But when it comes to interpersonal interactions through service-based businesses, it doesn't work. You have to have a big, fat, open heart, radiate lots and lots of love, sweetness, joy, happiness, enthusiasm, and that magnetizes people into your life, right? So those who are going to work with you, work with you. Those who aren't going to work with you, won't work with you. Those that would have worked with you 5 years ago and 5 years has gone by, wasn't meant to be at that time. That's okay. So if you're ready and inspired to be healed, ChristianRLong.com, sign up for a consultation. Any and all questions, direct message me. If you're like, I don't even know what the consultation entails, send me a message and we'll still set up a consultation and we'll find out where you're at and how we can move you forward. Make sense? Perfect. All right, guys, lots of light, love, and power from God and my teacher, Grandmaster Choa Koksui, who you see in the back wall right over here. May your life be blessed, right? And tomorrow at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, we're doing our Zoom meeting, our meditation and healing. It's from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Mountain Time tomorrow, and that's live. And I'll be posting it on Facebook later on this evening, so you guys have it. But you can go further down on my post and see it. Avani Atma Namaste, and see it there. That's it, guys. Love you very, very much. This is Christian Long, Life Enhancement Consultant. Have a beautiful, phenomenal Saturday, weekend, and life. Atma. Namaste. Bye-bye.